Hey everyone, it's Chris Daniels here, aka CD Playa. Thank you all for joining me today. I have a really exciting video for you all because it's the first video of this type. I've been wanting to do one of these for a bit, and I think I have a really fun one to do. That's right, it's a tier list. Keep in mind that tier lists are a very subjective type of content. What I have in my S tier is probably not the same as you'd have in your S tier. What I have in my D tier may be in your S tier, and that's okay. People have different opinions, they ride differently, so be sure to keep that in mind. Black River ramps are the subject matter here. Black River ramps have been around since 1999, making the highest quality wooden fingerboard ramps out there. They've been supporting the scene by sponsoring contests, hosting events, etc. They are the creme de la creme. And in my opinion, the D tier ramps here, the worst ramps on this list, would still be better than 90 or 95% of obstacles made by other ramp companies. Even though I may have a ramp here that's in D tier, for somebody else it's an S tier ramp, and that's why you should definitely check out and test out every ramp that you see on this list at an event. So this tier list here was created by Nick, aka Broke Man, from the FBU Discord with some help from She, aka Bubble Flip, and then I added on some ramps that I did not see into here. We're only doing it on obstacles that are made out of wood. We're not touching like rails or the concrete obstacles. It's gonna take us a while to get through this, which is the main reason why, and we'll also do an episode specifically for those in the future if this one does well. But before we get started, I wanna hear from you. What would be in your tier list for this Black River obstacle tier list? Let me know in the comments below. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think. All right, guys, so first up, we have the Pocket Kicker. I don't know if I really like kickers in general. These are really well made, like all Black River obstacles, but if I had my choice, there's tons of other obstacles I'd much rather purchase. And the Pocket Kicker is like really tiny. I fingerboard pretty quick, so it doesn't work too well for me in general. I fingerboard too fast. So for me, starting off weak with a D tier. Next up is the other Street Kicker. Good part about the Street Kicker, it's a bit bigger than the Pocket Kicker. I really like this one in comparison, but again, it's just a kicker, there's not much to it. So I'm gonna put this one in C tier. It's quite a bit better than the other Pocket Kicker, quite a bit bigger, fits my fingerboarding better, but still, there's other obstacles that I'd rather buy from Black River. Now we get into the boxes. First up, of course, is box number 1. This is the classic. It's pretty versatile and simple. You can use it as a mani pad or as a grind box or a ledge. It also can be perched up onto obstacles as well, which is actually pretty nice. It makes it a pretty flexible obstacle. Has that little circular area in the middle, makes it so you can put onto some stairs and whatnot. Because it's so versatile, I'll probably put it into B tier. You know, it's not the most exciting or sexy ramp, but it's a ramp that does its job and does it well. Coming up next, we have box number 2. This one has diamond coping. I'm gonna be rating it as if it doesn't have diamond coping because diamond coping basically automatically bumps it up to the next level. This one has kind of a mani pad with a ledge and then another ledge on the other side that you can use almost kind of as a rail as well. You can board slide onto it. Pretty straightforward and simple, but you can do some cool things. You can hop up onto the mani pad and then hit the box next. I like it. So again, another solid ramp from Black River. I'll put this up into B tier, but above box 1, because it's a little bit more versatile than box 1. Next up is box number 3, a classic. It has a angle iron on one side and then the circular coping on the other. So 2 different grind feelings from one obstacle. Still pretty straightforward. I still think it's a fingerboarding staple. And it's something that I think most fingerboarders would want to have. I'm actually going to put it above box 2 and box 1, but still in B tier. All right, coming up next is box number 4. This one is a up ledge with a little bit of a gap created at the end there with some little foliage. The foliage is a nice touch. It makes it have a nice aesthetic to it. I like it. I like it a lot. I think for this one, I'd almost give it probably between box number 2 and box number 3. The up actually, you know what? I'm gonna put it above there. It's probably right now the top of B tier for me, because you can use that in so many different ways. Like you can use that up ledge, manual up, do a little tap on the top like a little rock. Uses a kicker. It's pretty versatile. All right, box number 5. I love box number 5. To me, it's classic. You got the double ledges, and you can hit them nicely there. And then the hip on the back side, use it as a kicker. Very versatile ramp. Really love this obstacle. Strong A tier for me. Coming up next is box number 6. Box number 6 is not available on the Black River website right now, but we're still gonna rank it. I watched Black River rider Tomas Hansen ride this thing, and he makes it look so good. I like this one quite a bit. It's not my favorite of the boxes. I think it's more exciting than most of them, so maybe between box number 4 and box number 3. That seems about right for box number 6. Box number 7, not a fan. I actually think it's one of the worst performing boxes on this list, but I'm gonna put it right here. There is some cool stuff you can do, like nose bonks and stuff, but you have to be really creative and good as a fingerboarder. I think most people wouldn't get the full value out of this box when there's other boxes that they can get. Now we are into our brick obstacles. First, we have the brick box. I like the feeling of bricks. It's a nice little change of pace from coping, but very simple and straightforward. Honestly, I'm gonna put it ahead of box 1. But keep it behind box 2. A little bit more to it in box 2 than the brick box. So that's why I ranked it to where it's at right now. Next up is the J ramp. This one's a fun obstacle. Right now it has the bricks on it, but there's a version that also does not have the bricks. You can use it as a mani pad. You can hit the angle iron on the side. You have the brick coping on top, little angle ledge there. You can do wall rides on that as well. So many different things to it. I think this is a strong B tier, maybe at the top of the B tier list. Very similar actually to the box number 6, but a little bit better in my opinion. Next up we have the CRK ramp. I'll be straight, I am not a fan of this one for my riding style personally. I fingerboard very quick when I fingerboard, very fast moving, so stuff like this where it's very short stuff for me to do tricks on, it's difficult. So for me, it's probably in that high C tier. I love Chris Kraft. He's one of my favorite fingerboarders out there and a great person. And I think for many people, this would be like an A tier ramp, but for me personally, it's a C tier. Coming up next, we have the brick and rail ramp. That's right, the brick and rail ramp. Basically, it is a ledge with bricks on it, and then on the other side, there's a rail. Pretty cool. You can use it as a mani pad, a ledge. You can use it as a rail, and then you can even incorporate all 3. I think it's a pretty strong ramp. Probably ahead of almost every ramp so far that I've rated, except for the box number 5 and the J ramp actually. So strong performance from the brick and rail ramp. Next up is the 2-level ramp. Not my thing. So I'm gonna definitely put this in C tier. I don't like it that much. Not a fan. All right, we have the picnic bench, the original reloaded version. I am not a fan of the original picnic bench. I'm gonna put that in D tier. Just not my favorite ramp. It's a classic though, I get it, but for me personally, there's other picnic benches I'd rather have. For example, the locker room bench. This one's a very nice ramp. It has angle iron on one side, coping on the other side, enough room for you to manual between, has that nice metal feet down below with the legs and the feet. Beautiful ramp. It's not gonna move from you. Strong B tier for that one. Next up is one of my favorite Black River obstacles, believe it or not. It is the street bench. This to me is the fingerboard ramp that I keep on going back to ever since I got it in a sponsorship package, probably around 2016, 2015 or so from Black River. That, it's just such a versatile, good ramp. Surprising, because you would think that since it doesn't have coping or metal on it, and it's just wood for the grinding surface, that it wouldn't be that good, but it's so good. It just works really well. To me, it's an S tier. Ding, 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 our first S tier ramp. Next up, we have the Table Mini. I like the Table Mini. In general, I am not a fan of picnic tables unless it's like the Tech Deck OG version. I don't think I've really had many picnic tables I liked, mostly due to the size. And this one's a little bit smaller, so I think I like it better than the original. Still, I think it's C tier ahead of the rest of them. Next up is the table. I do not like the table. To me, it is definitely not my favorite ramp. I'm gonna put that in D tier. It's just too big for me in terms of proportion to the board. Okay guys, we have the Brick Block FB ramp. The Brick Block FB ramp. This one's pretty cool. It has an up ledge on it, bricks on each side. It feels really good to grind on. I actually like this one a ton. A bunch of stuff you can do on this obstacle, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced. I think this one is behind the locker room bench, but ahead of the J ramp. No. Actually, probably like that. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Coming up next, we have the Brick Curb ramp. This one looks fun. Like you can roll up, do tricks on. I think it's probably a mid B tier. Seems better than these other basic boxes, but worse than these other ones that have a little bit more to it. Next up is the Mike Schneider ramp, and there's two versions. We have the brick version, which I'm gonna rate probably in the B tier. It's that loading dock style thing, which is pretty cool. You have a little ledge you can land onto, and you can switch sides for it, so it's a very versatile ramp. The rail version I like a little bit better. I think I like it better than the locker room bench. Strong B tier right there. Next ramp is actually super solid. I don't know if you guys tried this. It's the Mike Schneider ramp Dose. Love this one. It has the really high quality rail in the middle, A-frame ramp, a little gap there as well. Dude, that ramp, ooh, it's either A tier or S tier. I think I'm gonna do high A tier for now, and we'll see where we end up towards the end, and I may have to adjust things. Maybe have to bump it up to S minus. Next ramp, I don't know what this one is. Yeah, it looks weird. Probably really fun, but I don't know what it is. I'm gonna put that in D. I don't know what's going on there. And this upcoming one, I don't know if that has any angle iron on it, but it looks pretty straightforward, no angle iron. I don't get it. Another D tier for this one, but keep in mind I haven't tried this one as well, so maybe it's a lot more fun after I use it. Wall hip. You know, you can use this, put it against a wall or a surface where you can wall ride on, but really I'm not a huge fan of this one as well. It doesn't make much sense to me in my brain for me to use it. Another D tier. Alright, if you guys know me, you know I like my pole jams. I liked it so much that before I had a Black River one, I actually made my own cardboard one that I used in a bunch of fingerboarding parts back in the day. This one's an S tier, especially since this one has a diamond coping, but even if it didn't, it'd be high A tier. Okie dokie. We have the John Cowart ramp right here. This one is super good. It's one of my favorite ramps. It has a spine. I love spines. But on top of that, it's not just a spine. It has a little bit more extra to it. Love this ramp. You can do manis into this. You can hit up the spine. The perfect ramp in my opinion, just about. S tier for sure, maybe just behind the street bench. We have another awesome ramp right here. It's the Sorry Spine. I love spines. I like the John Cowart ramp just a little bit more, but I still think it belongs into our S tier. Okay, we're getting into the controversial side that I mentioned before. In general, I fingerboard too fast for the transitions of the pocket ramps. I just don't like them. I understand why people love them, and I totally support you if you love the pocket ramps. They just aren't my thing. D tier for me. The Pocket Mini XL, I like this one quite a bit more than the Pocket Mini. Still too tight a transition and too small a transition for me, so I'm gonna put it into C tier. Okay, next up's the Wall Ride. Not a fan of this one, but I think it's better than the Pocket ones. Probably high C tier for that one as well. It is kind of fun when you get a little bit of the vert as well. You can kind of do some tricks on that. It feels a little different from your normal transition. All right, the classic quarter. Definitely, I think, a strong B tier. Right up here. I love a good quarter. So much you can do on it. Next up, we have the quarter with the extension. Love this one even more than the regular quarter pipe. This one goes up into our A tier. All right, we have the Pocket Mini. I hate this ramp. D tier. But we get right into one of the greatest ramps of all time. That is right, it's the Mini Dose. This one is probably my personal favorite ramp of all time. I use it all the time. Ever since I had one. Love it. S tier at the top. Pinnacle. One of the best ramps ever made in fingerboarding. 80s Tribute ramp. This one's weird. I love half pipes, but don't know how I feel about having brick on my half pipe as the coping. Rather have like pool tiles. Put this in the C tier. I mean, it's hard for me to put a half pipe in the C tier because there's so much you can do with it. But it is what it is. All right, the Mini Mini. This one's a fun ramp. I don't know if you've tried it. It's a mini with an extension on one side, and then it has like this another extension on the other side that's like a bank. Really fun, really versatile. High up in the A tier. I'd probably put it up here, maybe just behind the Mike Schneider ramp. That looks good for that one. Really fun ramp. Next one is a legendary Big Mama. Definitely A tier ramp right here. Maybe behind the Mini Mini, but the fact that it has that gap is so cool. It's the Spine Mini Dose. This is epic. It's everything I want in a fingerboard ramp. It has my favorite ramp of all time, the Mini Dose on one side, with the spine that connects it to another mini ramp on the other. This is even better than the Mini Dose, so top of S tier right away. Yay! And then we have the Mike Schneider ramp. This one is so much fun. I think if you guys use this ramp, you'll realize how epic it is. It's kind of like, I think, the G7 or G8 Park with the roll and wave to a quarter pipe. It feels really good when you're using this ramp. Super high up on the A tier, for sure. Maybe even S tier. Okay, it's the 10 stair Black River. This one's a classic, definite, probably an A tier here. Yeah, I think that's an A tier. I'll put it ahead of the Mini Mini, I think, but behind the Mike Schneider ramp. We have the Black River new stair sets, both the round rail and the square rail. Probably put the round rail high B tier. I really like this ramp. And then the square rail low A tier. Very good ramp overall. Don't like it as much as the 10 stair, but it's still really cool. It has a little bit of a kicker on one side and pretty versatile. All right, the Fun Box. Fun Boxes are awesome. They're bulky, but they're fun. A lot of things you can do onto them. Definitely a good ramp. Probably B tier. Maybe just behind your quarter pipe. Pretty good ramp. Okay, we have ourselves the San Francisco stair step ramp. This one's really fun. If you guys have tried it, you'll know it is solid. I like this one. Definitely B tier. Good stuff. Probably ahead of Mike Schneider Led Duck. It's good. Okay, Pornstorm Plaza. This has a little bit of everything. It's the big, huge ramp. Really fun. I think it's a high B, low A tier ramp. There's so much you can do onto it. Probably ahead of the stair set, though. Last but not least, we have the D-Rex Fun Box. This was a ramp that I always wanted for so long, and I finally got it. And I barely use it. It's really big, and it's kind of hard to use with the wood, and it chipped a little bit. Because of that, this is controversial, I'm sure. Probably in C tier, believe it or not. It just is not the best. Probably ahead of the half pipe. And with that, guys, we have finished the first Black River Obstacle tier list on my channel. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and leave me a comment below, letting me know what ramps you have in your S tier here. And heck, while we're at it, if you have any ramps that are in your D tier, toss those in as well. Love to see what you guys think. I'm sure yours will be much different than mine, but I think it's valid for all of us to have our own opinions because we all ride differently. And with that, guys, thank you so much again for watching. Much love and peace.